Good morning. It's 10 o'clock on a Thursday, so that means it's time for KEDA's weekly webinar. We are joined today by Choi and Madeline Pratt. Thank you both for agreeing to share your wisdom and insights with us. As always, you can find current COVID-19 and other business resources on the KEDA website. We have created a special page just for that and just added. We have a toolkit for reopening, some great information from a website called restoreyoureconomy.org. It's put on by International Economic Development Council, and there's some great tools on that website that you want to check out. And then librarian extraordinaire from KRL, Peggy Brannaman, provided us some opportunities and resources from the things at the library. So we encourage you to check out all these new additions to our website. Teresa, as always, continues to keep it updated. And in just a moment, we're going to have our folks share, but let's start out, as always, with a poll. So the first question is, how long have you been in business? Oh, it's interesting that one is completely empty. So most of the people on are long-term business owners. That's cool to see. And then one more poll. Oh, sorry. Get ready for Anna. We want to see how you are feeling today. So how would you define your energy level today or this week? You're off the chart, super stressed, you're mixed, riding that roller coaster, you've been better, but handling it well overall. It's almost dreamlike, you don't want this time to end, or you could be a yogi, you're so calm in this chaos. Looks like everybody's voted that's gonna vote. No one's super stressed, that's good. No one thinks they're a yogi, so we'll work on that. But it looks overall that we're kind of in the middle, so that's good. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Anna, who will introduce herself and talk about handling your energy and stress. Thanks, Anna.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Okay. So I walk into the office and here I am and I see this suede leather chair and I collapse. And I am 25 years old at this point. I've just grossed 6 figures, I've tripled my net income, but I am physically exhausted. In fact, I have completely burned out within 6 months in my early 20s. And I think, oh my gosh, this is not sustainable. Fast forward, I'm like, okay, great. I'm just going to forget money. I'm going to do whatever makes me happy. I start a family. That's my then son, who's now 8, and my husband. And I publish a children's book. But living off one income with my husband, who's a landscaper, was like, boom, we were on food stamps. We qualified. And I realized, okay, I need to have both the money and the happiness. So then fast forward, and I now get inside the tech industry. I start my second business. My husband goes stay full-time at home. He's a full-time stay-at-home dad. And I have a spouse house and a kid to support. So this seems great. Things seem to be going well, except I'm spiritually like not aligned with just filling the tech talent gap. And my energy gets depleted again, but now I'm in my early 30s. So as I'm sharing all this, look for yourself where you are in your energetic journey. And now we moved to Pulsebo. Everything went better after that. We went, we got ourselves to be debt free. We can max our retirement. This is our view from the Bay. And, last year I was able to grow 6 figures while taking 9 weeks off for vacation. Sounds awesome. Yet, if I'm not careful, this is going to happen again in my early 40s. Because while I was gone for 9 weeks for vacation, I just found myself working harder while I was working at home, So I was working really hard and then playing really hard. And so before COVID came, it was all about taking more time off, but I realized that's not necessarily it's that emotional roller coaster many of you mentioned in the poll. And what's going to smooth that out just a little bit more? So my question to you today is, where are you in your energy journey? Whether that's more, I kind of did it by decades, but it could be even just right now during this time. And the thing we want to contend with that has always been there before this time is the information overwhelm and the decisions to make and the constant disruptions, both inside and out. It might be more exacerbated or less at this time, but that's the game we're playing inside of, which has your brain working out 24/7. And this is what's likely how you feel with the water, kind of like your energy, and it keeps pouring in, and there's holes, and you have energy leaks. And so if you feel overwhelmed or like you've got a lot of energy leaks, then this is what is likely to happen. And I think at least for me, sometimes I fantasize about, is there a place just like this where you can just always relax? But I think it's more like this, where it's a tsunami going of chaos around you. And how can you surf it? That's energy mastery. So the 5 keys to time freedom, you'll notice I switched the title more to like 5 secrets to reclaim your energy, because that's more what it's about. The experience time freedom gives you is, if you ask yourself, okay, pretend you had all the time in the world, how would you feel? Most people are going to say, relaxed, happier, fulfilled, whatever that might be, maybe bored, I don't know. But that experience is what we seek. So it's less about the time and more about the experience and what can give you that experience, because we can't control so many things, really anything around us. We can have a say about our energy and reclaiming that. So here are the 5 steps. You might have read them through already. And there will be a slide at the end where you can both get the slides, and Teresa will upload that as well as all the resources I'm about to mention throughout this next time. Just capture that link at the end, and you can get all those links and resources, so you don't have to capture it and worry about taking notes. So as far as adding more yin to your yang, I'm going to go through each of these just briefly and then give an example for each one. So adding more yin to your yang. We live in a very yang culture that's historically had been driven by more productivity, more, grow at any cost. And a lot of us knew that was getting broken. So so a lot of us moved to Kitsap from Seattle. No. So we're looking for more of a balance with more yin energy. And this is more about surrendering, allowing, listening, and yang is more about the execution and getting it done and pushing forward no matter what. So we need both of the energies. We just happen to be in a very period of time right now in culture and globally of a very yang culture. So a lot of these practices I'm going to talk about are yin. Now, this is an example of a client I worked with who was really in a hustle and grind. So you might relate, especially during open enrollment periods. As a health insurance agency, it was getting crazy. So hadn't taken a vacation in a while, would come home late from the office. Maybe some of you can relate now. Would have a glass of wine, relax for maybe an hour, watch something online, and then go to bed and start the whole thing again, day after day after day. And it just wasn't fulfilling. So in working together, we looked at, first off, what matters. So for those of you watching, you can take notes, like the question to ask yourself or to inquire into is what actually matters, while you might be homeschooling or while we're trying to work with 3 conference calls going on in 3 different rooms. What matters? And for her, it was, family first. And so right away, we were adding more yin time of vacation by plotting that out first, not if there's time at the end after you've served your clients and after you responded to everybody else but yourself. First, number 1, carving that time out. Especially during COVID, it's imperative to double down on your adding more yin to your day. So maybe in the mornings you have time to yourself, or in the evenings, whether you're a late owl or night owl or early bird. But what's a way you can double down on that? Because as the chaos grows around you, you have to also double down the foundation of getting that recharge, relaxing time. That could be more sleep. That could look like maybe 2 hours in the morning instead of 1, etc. So on a macro level, schedule your vacations, and on a micro level, make sure you get more time for yourself each day. The second key is listen within. And what this refers to, I had put leverage your genius, which is what it had been, but during this time, it's becoming more pronounced in the news and stuff. I see so many headlines around emotional resilience and crisis leadership and navigating the unknown. So when you listen within to your own inner wisdom or true self or higher power, you get signals. So just like in business where numbers don't lie, your body doesn't lie. It's giving you signals and communications through pain is the primary teacher. And so just, you can do a body scan and just look, where am I always in pain? Is it in your neck and your back? Each emotion you have is stored in each organ. And this isn't like a metaphysical or metaphorical thing. It's the literal science of it. So for example, anger is stored, like the hormones, everything, in your liver. Anxiety is in your stomach. Sadness is in your lungs. Fear is in your kidneys. So if you do a body scan and you can sense where there's pain, that's indicating to you like what's overloaded or where there's to look. One of the resources I'll give to you at the end is what is your energy state? It's a free quiz. It's through actually a whole different company. And you can find out just through your physical symptoms what your energy state is in terms of your health, happiness, and your peace of mind. An example of this, working with a client, the late camera team, was, quarantine 15 was happening, being at home so much on the screen. And so again, applying this second principle of listening within, we did some deeper work, and they were able to then recultivate their habits, go to bed and wake up now and go back into their normal rhythm, even though everything around them is turned upside down. Third key is invest in you first. And originally this had been invest in teams and things outside yourself, but we have this huge opportunity during this crisis, which the root Chinese characters of that mean danger and opportunity. So it's like this mixed bag. And in this crisis time, you can really cocoon and go within, and there's an opportunity to invest in you. And what I mean by that is, for example, one of my clients, they build hospitals, and she knew things were moving in a different direction and was having a hard time having her partners come on board. But as she was able to invest in herself first versus try to go outside herself and convince people to go a different direction, she gained the confidence to go ahead and start pivoting to this new offering, which then really stuck and got traction. She generated like 45,000 in contracts in just 8 weeks or so. So it's really important first to work on your inner game. All of you successful business owners out there know that that's critical also for the startups out there. Fourth key is to vanquish your fears. Again, a lot of inner work here. This is another client that, they worked so hard and were stuck in the hustle and grind because of this mindset of do or die. I've got to respond now. If I don't, I'm going to lose that client. I don't care how long you've been in business, that kind of is the default way our brain works anyway, right? So for you to apply vanquishing your fears is to go into that fear. So one action you can take right now is look at what are your biggest fears? and just take your top biggest one, and then actually play out what could happen and experience it like it happened and see what happens. And you might find that you're not going to die, which is how it might feel like. If I lose all these clients, if my business goes down, if this happens, once you face that fear, you will be able to then go to the other side. And for them, they just wanted more boat time. And so we made sure that they got an hour of boat time minimum, if not more. And they did. And they started doing that, and that replenished their energy and recharged them in a way that had them be more effective and be able to weather more storms and make calmer decisions. Fifth key is to energize your daily flow. There are so many tools and tactics for this that I can't go into right now. Again, there's a link at the end that it can point to. You can deep dive, if you wish, into more of these resources. I'm just going to focus on mastering your mood through moving meditation. So there's a free app, 1 Minute Change, and there's just these 1 minute guided like push-ups. They're actual exercises, but also like pinky thumb. So right now you can try from your screen to do this. And it really integrates your left and right brain hemispheres. It's a fun refocuser if you just are kind of burned out. And you can just do this, and it helps you align your focus energetically. You can also do intestinals when you're sitting or driving on a Zoom call for the 10th time, and you can suck in your belly button into your spine, lay both your hands just on top or not, and you're kind of like doing a crunch sitting up, but you can just repeat those, and what it does is it draws your energy that's all scattered out here into your body and brings it down to fire up your core. So this is the water up, fire down principle, where we have really hot heads, a lot of fire energy, and we have really cold guts. It's hard to go to the bathroom, we get IBS, whatever, different symptoms. When you do intestinals, it starts pumping heat into your core. So, and then the cool energy can come to your head. So you have a calm, cool head, and you have a hot belly to really energize yourself. So those are the 5 keys. Why energy matters is we're in this situation, and before we can really learn to surf, oftentimes we need to break it down to the beginning steps, right? And we fail, and we need help to get back up. So one of the ways I wanted to support you guys is I looked at my calendar because it's fairly booked right now, but I'm just going to give away 3 spots just because, and can't really do more than that. So go ahead and you can capture my info there, anna@annasunchoi.com. That's also my website, and just put free consult, and I'll just give that to the first 3 people that sign up for that. If you want to learn how to really, break it down, fail, so they can get to this point of where you have energy mastery and you can really surf the tsunami that's happening all around us. And then, as promised, is that slide here of gifts. And so you can go to this website. Oh, this has the, I'm so sorry, this has the wrong link. Just go to annasunchoi.com/gifts, annasunchoi.com/gifts. And it'll just take you to my website page. And you can take the energy state quiz. You can join, develop energy mastery inside a community, all for free, and then also get the slides. All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Anna. And maybe you can put the updated link in the chat screen for folks.
Yes.
Okay.
Chat.
And then I'm going to do a poll while Anna does that and stop sharing her screen so we can switch. So the next poll is how in touch with your clients are you? You're engaging through social media, you're sending newsletters and asking for input, you send surveys, you send thank you notes, you use tools associated with other payment platforms such as Square, when it asks for the smiley or the frown face at the end of the transaction. And for those that are saying other, if you could put what that is in the chat, that would be great, just so we can track what you're doing. Okay, a couple seconds more. All right. So social media is the big winner. And then looking at chat, under other, people are saying you're calling them, you're contacting them via Skype or telephone or WhatsApp, and phone again, email. So good job, folks. I'm gonna stop sharing. And now we're gonna have Madeline um, expand on that and perhaps how you can you do better with those tools. So thank you, Madeline.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you, Kathy. So hey, everyone. My name is Madeline Pratt, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Fearless in Training. We're a team of creatives that works with anyone that's looking to start, grow, or scale a service-based business. And I spent the last decade of my career in technology and entrepreneurship, working with founders across a bunch of different sectors, scale virtual businesses. So today I'm going to play off Anna's energy and talk about energy inside of the business. And really what I want you to take away from today is this idea that we can't just keep operating business as per usual. Anna spoke to something that I think was really important, which is this idea that for a lot of us, things are coming up, not just in life, but in business, where we're realizing that they didn't maybe work in an ideal way. And maybe we need to do something different in business. And so one of the best ways we can do that is by reaching out to support our clients in this moment, and then to gather information and ideas from them so that we can take new types of action. So last week, as some of you might do like me, I was listening to KUOW, and I was listening to the Week in Review, and they had a reporter, DJ Wilson, on, and he said this. He said, there's never been a more important time to buy from people you know. And it was really interesting because I think a lot of us expected that when coronavirus hit, we would see contraction. We wouldn't see people reach out to us, no selling would happen. And the exact opposite started to happen for my company. We had all of these people who we had been in contact with here and there over time starting to reach out. And the thing is that people really want to work with people they know because it's people they trust. And so there's never been a better time to be talking to your clients or even to potential clients to get a really clear sense of what they need now and what you could be creating together. So I think the most important thing to start with is serving our existing clients. I loved in the chat, I saw a couple of people say, for our best clients, for our most loyal clients, we're reaching out, we're having phone calls with them. That is exactly what you should be doing because, the people that we're already serving, those are our greatest relationships. They're also our greatest revenue potential. And so the first thing that we need to be doing is initiating forms of client outreach to have open-ended conversations where you can get a pulse point of how people are doing and, more importantly, about what they're needing. So I think it's really important to always have a sense of structure to the way that we're talking to people. And so these are some things that I think are really important to consider. First and foremost is just letting someone have a space to share. I believe sharing is a form of caring, and people probably need to vent right now. But also sharing like this builds trust. And so what I think is really hard, and all of us know as leaders of business, that we're in a very unprecedented position in the world, but we're in a really unprecedented position as a leader, because especially if we lead teams, we've got other people looking for us to lead in this moment. And we may be looking around and being like, but I don't even know how to lead, but I've got to step up and set the example. And so if your clients see you as a leader, it's really, really important for them to have a space to share with somebody, because they may have to put on a mask or a face to their team or to their clients that they've got it all figured out. And so to be able to share with somebody in an open way is a really important way to build trust. Now, with that venting in mind, sometimes venting can go a little bit negative. And so our goal in client conversations is always to steer things back towards the positive and help folks move from a state of negativity and problem, centric to one of potential by asking questions and offering up positive actions. So when you hear your clients talking about the things that they're going through, try and tease out one or two things that you can think about a way that they could make a change. So you could ask questions that start with something like, what would it look like if you revamped your marketing? Or what would it look like if you moved your sales online? Or what would it look like if you fired that client you hate? Or would it look like to restructure your team right now? And if you ask these kind of open-ended questions, you can start guiding them down a path towards action. And that's when we can start offering up solutions. So this could be a solution that's your service, or it could also be someone else's. A lot of us are networked with each other. Maybe we're not the right person to solve the pain points our clients are experiencing, but if we can reach out and refer them to somebody who can, that's not only a good act of karma, but people will trust you more because they feel like you're a problem solver and you're going to point them to solutions, even if they're not your solutions. So the last thing I want to share here is when we start thinking about moving people towards actions, one of the best things we can do is use the word we. It's really important for people to feel like that they've got somebody on their side and like we're in it together. So if you can tell them that we can work together to solve this problem, we can offer you solutions, we know somebody who can help you, that's going to make them feel like you're on their side. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is setting up a survey. And we polled you about this, and I saw that some of you are doing this already. But we can use client conversations to connect with and honor our existing relationships and get just like a pulse point of how people are feeling or what they're needing. But then we can use surveying to validate what we're seeing. So I'm a total data nerd, I have to admit this. I have a background in biomedical research, and so I always love a good data point. And the goal here is to gather data because it can help us make more informed decisions. Also, maybe not everybody we know wants to hop on our call, or as Anna mentioned about our calendar, they're super busy and they can't, spend an hour with us, but they can take 2 minutes to fill out a survey and give us a sense of what they're needing. So let's talk about what it looks like to build a great survey. So first and foremost, keep it so short and sweet. Like it should take somebody less than 5 minutes to answer. And the less questions you have, the more likely somebody is to answer it in entirety. So aim to ask no more than 10 questions and just keep it to a minimum by offering areas for expansion for the people who want to. So rather than having a million options for people to choose from as answers to your questions, give an other category so that if somebody does feel like expanding on their own experience, they can free form fill that out and share with you what they're going through if it's something different than the options you've given them. Now, the other thing that's really important when we do surveying is to start with your answers and build backwards. So what I mean by that is that if you think that your people are needing a new type of service from you, maybe you're starting to think about a new offering and you've got a couple in mind, you could ask which of these 3 things would be most helpful to your business at this moment. And then you could list out, maybe not the service by name, but some light information about what it might be, just to see if it's something that people really are after and maybe identify that there's one area you should really focus your offerings for clients at this moment. And then I think the last piece here is to really think about how the data is going to help your decision making as a business owner in the process of realigning. So, if there's key information you need to better target the kind of folks you want to serve in this moment, it's important to capture that as well. So this is qualifying information like, how big is your company? Did you receive PPP funding? Are you having to let go of employees? Information that can, again, help you better align and understand the folks that you're here to serve. Now, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that I have a background in technology and I'm a total nerd when it comes to applications. And so if you've ever got a question that's like, what app does this? Like, I will always answer that question. Maybe that's something you can throw in when we get to the Q&A. But I'm just a big believer in the fact that tech can make our lives easier. So it's important to pop our questions into a formal survey tool because they are designed for this purpose and they can make things easier. So these are my 3 favorites. Google Forms. I joke about Google Forms that she gets the job done and she's free. It's going to spit the data out into a Google spreadsheet and you're going to have to analyze it for there. But it's not the prettiest, but it's a tool that's available to you if you have, a Google account, and you can take advantage of it natively to just get a free way to get that information gathered. The next one is SurveyMonkey. So we just sent out a SurveyMonkey this morning to some of our clients. It's simple, it's really clean. They have a freemium version, so it's you start out with the free version, and if you want more features, you can pay more. And they have integrated analysis. So rather than you having to do the data analysis yourself, they're going to do a little bit of that for you. And then the last one that I love is Typeform. Typeform is a very, very beautiful way to deliver integrated forms to your clients. It can be dropped into your website. You can add it as a link to something. They've got beautiful templates that have really great visuals from just like a total design perspective. It's a great looking tool, but it's barely free. They make sure that you're paying a little bit of a premium for that prettiness. But if you're somebody who really cares about your brand and wants to make sure that's exercised in a really beautiful way, Typeform could be the tool for you. So that's how we capture our data and get answers to our questions. But the next piece we have to consider is what we do with that data. So we want to take that information and use it to brainstorm. So things that I like to ask in this moment are there any answers that jump out to us? Like, are there things that are unexpected, or are there answers that surprise us? And then the real question you want to ask as the owner of your business is, where does your business need to go based on who you're serving and the answers they're providing? So take some time to analyze the data and use it to give yourself some clear information and guideposts in the directions you might want to go when it comes to realigning your offerings. Now, if you're in a moment right now where you're ready to realign to meet the needs of your clients, you need to make sure that your offering is going to address their needs right now. And you've got to be open to uncovering new and creative ways to serve your clients next. So an example of this in our business happened at the end of March. We knew that a lot of our business owners that we work with, who we call ambitious entrepreneurs, were struggling and scrambling and trying to figure out new ways of being. And so we put out a poll on social media. We just said, of all the topics that we could potentially teach and talk about, what are the things that would be most helpful to you? And we put out a series. And of all of them, people raised their hand and said, we want to know more about starting a podcast. And we were like, well, we have a podcast and we know a lot about that. And we know a couple other people we could bring on to a webinar and teach about that. But it surprised us. That wasn't necessarily my gut guess, what I would have thought that everybody would have been needing. I would have maybe taught something more hard-hitting about cash flow. And so this process can uncover things that might surprise us, but if it's something that you can teach and share with your clients, you could move in a direction that meets them where they are. Now, the other thing that I think is really important is to think about the journey of your clients. So how can the thing that you offer right in this moment lead to an ongoing or recurring service? So some examples of this could be, if you're in the coaching space, you could be leading strategy sessions. I've known a lot of people who are doing kind of these pivot conversations that are 2 or 3 hour intensive strategy sessions that then lead to an ongoing coaching relationship. Or, for us, we've been doing a lot of website work for clients right now that's going to lead into supporting them with their ongoing marketing. Or, in people in the finance space, this could be, we're going to sit down and do your cash flow plan, and then that's going to lead to ongoing advisory. Now, this is also a really important moment as you realign your offerings to make sure your marketing is fresh. Have it speak to this moment, have it speak to your values and how you're here to help your customers. So this means things like new landing pages, maybe updating your social media, making a brochure, and making sure that it's something that feels like worth spreading. I think the biggest honor is if we get a referral, especially if we're in service-based business. So whenever you create a new piece of marketing to put into the world, think about, is this something that we love enough or that our clients would love enough that they would pass on to somebody they know who might be needing our help right now? So moving on here to key takeaways. These are the things that if you were to make a little list, and we're going to make a list to give to Kathy so that she can upload it into the site of kind of action items you can take away to start thinking about realigning your offerings in this moment for your clients. It starts by offering help to existing clients first. As I mentioned, these are our most important relationships. They're also the base of our existing revenue, and it's truly where we have the most upsell potential. So start with the people you're already serving, and then move on to clients that are potential clients or people on your mailing list, etc. From there, when you're talking to those clients, have a conversation with them to move from them feeling like they're in a problematic place to a space where they feel like they trust you to provide the solutions they need, even if that's not your own solutions, or maybe it could give you new ideas for a service offering that could benefit your clients in this moment. From there, think about setting up a forum. So this is about talking to folks in a broad sense to just share about the areas that you're thinking about in your business, and also to get a sense of their needs in terms of the help they're needing right now. And then once you've shared that form and started to gather data, now just to give a sense of like good proof points, we want at least 10 data points. It'd be great if you could get a lot more than that, but really to start seeing patterns, you need at least 10 respondents. And then you can use that data from the survey and client conversations to inform your next offering. So taking a moment to step back and say, okay, this is what people are needing. How can I meet them there? And then brainstorm a bit using that information to come up with the right services for your clients in this moment. And then that's when we move into my favorite moment, which is when you get to market that new offering to the world. I love a good launch. And so think about what are the ways that you can package in a marketing materials, whether that's new landing pages or a social media announcement, a video, some way to share that offering with the world so that people can see that you've created what they said they needed. All right, that's all I've got today. If you're curious about more help with online education, coaching, or creative consulting, that is what me and my company do. And this is how you can get in touch with us. So fearlessintraining.com is our website. We have a program that we lead for ambitious entrepreneurs that are scaling service-based businesses. It's called Learning Lab. And we created an offer code for anybody who is a part of this KEDA webinar to get the first month free of this program. We lead sessions that are all around marketing, branding, and business development. So for example, this month, we're doing a session on how to build proposals that your clients actually want to sign. Last month, we talked about pricing. Next month, we're talking about scalable sales processes. And so this is a really cool program we've built. And the cool thing is if you sign up, you get access to all the previous month's content. So there's a lot of great free resources for folks. And then if you want to follow us or get in touch with us, there's email and contact information here. But thank you, everyone, for the time. And thank you, KEDA, for letting me be here.
Thank you. Great info in both presentations. I'm hoping people got some awesome takeaways. I know Teresa and I will be doing some intestinals, and I will be encouraging people to, look at some local professional folks here, including Anna and Madeline, as they look to get their businesses back on track in this new era of COVID. I'm waiting for folks to either raise their hands to ask a question or to post their comments. And while we're doing that, I will do a poll just for fun, just a fun one. So we all know we still need to be washing our hands for 20 seconds. So what are you using to make sure you hit that 20-second mark? Are you singing happy birthday? I sing My Sharona. Some people have named it My Corona. You can recite in the proper tone and voice, space, the final frontier, the whole thing. Sing All Star by Smash Mouth, ABCs, or you just count. And for those that typed other, again, tell me what that is, because we all want to know. Counting. Everybody wants to count, or they're singing happy birthday so far. A few more seconds. Okay. So counting, other, and happy birthday. Only one person is reciting from Star Trek. Where are the rest of the nerds, people? Come on. And maybe it's just because my house is a nerd house, so that's why I said that. So some of the other things that folks said, Staying Alive chorus, REM, The End of the World as We Know It, I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson, How Great Thou Art, singing that chorus. And Teresa is saying, reminding me, if you have topics that will be beneficial as we go through this new era, please send them to us. You can either put it in chat, you can email info@kidsapeda.org, you can email me, cocos@kidsapeda.org, call our office, either one. We want to provide things that people want to hear, and that is going to be beneficial. And we'd also be interested in if you would prefer these to be not every week, maybe every other week. We are open to doing this in the way that works best for you. Next week, we are reopening in a brave new world. Monica Blackwood will be here to talk about all things HR and workforce and what that means with all the new changes coming down. And Rosalind Weber with the Predictive Group will be sharing her insights. So we look forward to that. We are taking a break the week of May 28th and June 3rd. We have titled it Your New Business Strategy. Someone's asking if we have anything coming up on e-commerce. We touched that a bit with Al-Jalen, and that is something we could revisit again. I think e-commerce and finding new ways to meet customers is really important in this age. I think brick and mortar is never going to go back to what it was, at least not for some time. Other questions? Not seeing any hands raised. Not seeing any other questions. Anna or Madeline, did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share?
I just wanted to say thank you. I think it's amazing, the resources that KEDA continues to curate for business owners. So kudos to you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, no, same. Thank you for the opportunity to just be able to share what will make a difference for us to really support small business at this time. And Polsbo strong.
Oh, Al-Jalen just reminded me that if anyone wants the 30-minute consultation on an e-commerce strategy, she is still offering that. Allie at aljalensberber.com. I will put that link right there. So there it is, Mickey, if you are interested in. I know Mickey's with Bainbridge Chamber of Commerce, so she's probably looking out for all those businesses on the island. Good for you, Mickey. Presentations on webinars and courses. Karen, could you tell me a bit more what you're meaning there? Karen?
Maybe she's meaning how to give a great webinar or course creation.
Oh, how to give them. Okay. Yeah. Okay, super.
I'm seeing a question from John. Can you bottle your energy?
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of like, when you have those toddlers and you're like, oh my gosh. Especially when you're the grandma.
I was like, there's many layers to that question. I get the joke, but I was like, but yes, you can in your body too.
Is somebody saying I didn't get a chance to see the website quiz that we can use to understand our energy, where pain is at, etc. Is that on the link you gave them, Anna?
Yep, that's on the annasandchoi.com. I'll just put it here again. Gifts. That has many different resources, so you can scroll through all the way to the bottom, but if you look in the top right, it says, what is your energy state? And you can take a quiz there. It goes into a different site called Change Your Energy, which is where I do my yoga through, but it's brilliant, a brilliant quiz.
Okay. I am not one to drag things out when it's time to go. So unless there are more questions, I know Jamie was ready to answer any questions. Just as a reminder, Jamie is our Small Business Development Center advisor, and she is always available. If you are not aware of those services, I encourage you to check that out. We have lots of great things here in KidSap. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, I heard my name.
I was just going to say, if you wanted to just say a quick words about SBDC or.
Yeah, I would, just in terms of any services, any struggles any business owners are having right now. You don't have to worry about qualifying what your issue is. If you're a business owner, we're here to help you. And for right now, for the short term, because we've been so overwhelmed by the number of businesses that are seeking help, we have another business advisor, Kevin Holt, with us, who actually launched the office last summer. But again, it's a free service. We've been helping tons of people with getting financing and helping them through this short critical period. And we're also ready to help them now look at, what type of a pivot they might need to do and how they can keep themselves afloat, for the long term. So to survive and thrive. So KidSap SBDC, as in Small Business Development Center. It's an easy one to Google and find us. Thanks, Kathy.
Sure. And Western Washington University SBDC has webinars as well, correct?
Yes, Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock. They moved them from Thursday, so to not conflict with KEDA.
Okay, I think we will, thanks, Anna. We will check those out. And Anna's also put a Facebook group on selling virtually. So I think with that, we're going to say thanks for being part of our webinar today. As always, if you miss part or you miss a week, they're all on our website. This video will be uploaded later today. I think Teresa's already loaded the PowerPoint presentations. Thank you and be well.